Hey everybody, Harvey Talks Prison here. Today I want to talk about something me and Kevin's been talking about lately. You know, my friend in prison. You know, some of us older guys that were at MSP used to talk about, now we talk about how it may have been more violent, but there was an order to the chaos. And that's not the case anymore, and that's all because of a different generation of people coming in, different type of people. And it's not just the prisoners, it's the guards and stuff too. So if you would, if this is your first time, hit that like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alright, when I first got to MSP, and people like me, Kevin, and all of us back in the late 80s, we were told that it was very violent then, but we was told that it used to be even worse, and that's just hard to believe. But there was like a method or an order to it, you know. There was always a reason that something happened, and although it happened every day, and often several times a day, there was a reason. Nowadays, people are coming in, and, well, before I left in 2016, I saw the changes throughout the year, and it just steadily got worse. But I saw people coming in and they was just fighting for no reason. And a lot of times they would want to try older people. I don't know whether they was trying to make a name for themselves or if they just wanted to try them, you know. But here's the thing, and I remember one time this young guy coming in, and he was just, he ran his mouth all the time. He'd say just crazy things. And a couple of us tried talking to him. At least 3 people I know have tried talking to him. And it may have been more. And I remember telling him one time, I said, you need to be careful, because some of these people, especially these old heads, they're not going to fight you. They're going to get some steel. And, oh no, they ain't going to do nothing. You know, and besides, I'm young, you know. Well, I guess a month and a half, maybe 2 months went by, and all of a sudden, they was running us to our housing units and telling us to lock down. And this young kid had got poked up several times. You know, he got into it with this old head. This old head didn't even, argue with him or try to fight him. Went and got his piece. And so that's, people coming in have got to realize that. A lot of these older head people, the old timers, they ain't playing. They know they can't fight against somebody younger. Well, some of them can. But why take a chance? You've been in prison all your life. Many of them are going to be there their whole lives. So why not just deal with it like that, And Kevin was telling me that since I left in 2016, it's gotten 3 times worse. He goes, this is crazy. And he said, nowadays, a lot of the younger people coming in, they feel they gotta have a piece. And he said it's not like back when you and I first came to prison, and we felt we had to have a piece for protection. They want it just to be, because they don't want, if they get into it with somebody, they want to poke them up. He goes, there's a lot of that going on. And he goes, and it's over trivial stuff. He goes, things that back in the day used to be talked out is not anymore. They just, he goes, it's just at a drop of a hat. And he goes, it's crazy. And he goes, part of it is because the Department of Corrections is having trouble hiring people. He goes, they're short-staffed, and I knew that. And I told him, I said I did research on this, and statewide, the Missouri Department of Corrections is short-handed by 700 officers or more, 700 to 800 officers. You think with all the prisons, it doesn't seem like that much, but just think what a prison, this averages out to about 25 to 30 officers per prison. So just think if a prison does not have 25 or 30 officers. That is a big deal. He said he goes like South Central Correctional Center, he says some of the officers are pulling 12-hour shifts. He goes, but they're short-staffed, and the people they're hiring, they don't care who they are. They may be very old men. They may be somebody straight out of high school. And he said, I told this old guy one time, this old CO, that they just hired. And he said, I told him, no offense, but what are you going to do if something happens? He goes, are you going to run away to where it's happening at? He goes, I don't think so. He goes, I ain't trying to put you down or something, but he says, he goes, I'm mad at the prison. He said, because this makes it harder on both the prisoners and the staff. People like you being hired. Well, that officer went back and told some other officers, and they came and told Kevin he shouldn't be talking like that, And Kevin said, I told them the same thing. What's he going to do if something happens? What if you need his back? But anyway, because they're short-staffed and because of the different caliber of people coming in, things are just really messed up. And more so in some prisons than others, I know it's not just South Central Correctional Center. It's places like Charleston. It's places like Bonne Terre. I haven't heard anything really about Jefferson City Correctional Center lately. So it's always the same places. Bonne Terre, Charleston, and South Central Correctional Center. It used to be Crossroads, but I think they closed Crossroads. But I also heard they're opening it back up, or they have opened it back up. I don't know. But in these prisons I mentioned, or most of this taking place, people who I've talked to say it's just chaos. Chaos reigns. It's just it's stupid. People fighting over the stupidest thing, and usually using pieces, pokers, as we call them, the thumpers, or as Banky calls them, Bethlehams, bone crushers. I've heard them called different things in other states, but we call like the bone crushers, we call them thumpers. Anyway, I just wanted to put this out there, and I want people to know who have loved ones in there that a lot of times when somebody's not saying something, I've had a couple of people ask me, why is he not we're not communicating what, he doesn't want to tell you what's going on in there because he doesn't want to worry you. I know I was like that, and when a lot of times I wouldn't, like if I was in the hospital or something, I wouldn't tell my people until afterwards, well, for one thing, I really couldn't, they don't let you, but we don't want to worry the people on the outside, that's the way it was when I was in there. So they know how bad it is, but if you tell them how bad it really is, it just makes them worry more. So that's a lot of times that's why prisoners don't talk a lot about what's going on inside. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.